Thanks very much for coming. Really appreciate it. My name is Sean Krikuski. I'm the founder and CEO of Nanalysis Scientific. We build portable MRI machines for industrial applications, and I'll kind of layer on what I mean by industrial applications as I go through this. But essentially, our customers at pharmaceutical companies, food companies, chemical companies, advanced material companies, they put a substance of interest in a standard glass testing tube, like fill it up to about this much. They put it in our beautiful little microwave oven-sized portable MRI machine. So they put the sample in there, they press a button, an MRI scan is done in the sample, and the customer is able to determine exactly what molecules are in that substance of interest, including all the nuances and so on. So that was sort of the raison d'etre for the company and where our main technology lies. We do seek safe harbor for forward-looking statements. We created this category of portable MRI machines for industrial applications. We do have an arch competitor, and I'll show the competitive landscape on a future slide, but we're able to achieve $45 million in revenue in 2024 and also positive EBITDA. And then a newer part of the business, because we have been in business for quite a while now, is that in addition to the capital equipment sales, we also have a very sticky recurring services revenue stream. And that was by design, by the way, to add services to our business. So technology and services working together. So when people hear me say MRI right away, they kind of tend to think of, oh, they're a medical device company or they're a life sciences company, and that's not the case. We do sell to pharmaceutical companies and biotech companies, but we also sell to food companies and chemical companies and energy companies. So just like some of these large cap comparables, and I would encourage you to take a look at them if you're interested in our company, because they represent who we aspire to be. Companies like Agilent and Thermo, these are $100 billion market cap companies, and they wouldn't call themselves medical device companies or life sciences companies. They would call themselves instrumentation companies or scientific instrumentation companies. And they tend to trade at pretty high multiples because they have strong economic moats because of their intellectual property, as do we. But they also have a very strong services part of their business as well, which really entrenches their relationships with their customers. So that's kind of part of our vision going forward, as well as products and services working together. Scientific instrumentation is a huge and growing global market. Over $75 billion per year is spent on scientific instrumentation for various test and measurement applications. Everything in the modern world is tested and measured. You can't innovate. You can't deal with health and safety issues. You can't deal with quality control. You certainly can't manufacture efficiently without test and measurement equipment. So that's the space that we're in. We feel like our addressable part of that is several $billion per year of that larger pie, but it's a great space to be in. And again, it's not medical devices and so on. It's kind of correlated to that, but it's scientific instrumentation. And a couple of arch competitors are companies like Magritech and Bruker over here that have similar products. We compete against them every single day all over the world. This is a new class of instrument, but it's starting to become widely adopted. In terms of the actual medical imaging side of this opportunity, Siemens, GE, and Philips aren't part of our competitive landscape today in terms of competing for customers, but they will be in sort of the visionary incarnation of our business going forward, because we will one day have a product for human medical imaging that's smaller and smarter and application specific. So the math and the physics of MRI for industrial applications is exactly the same as the math and physics for human medical imaging. So we have a vision to go after that part of the opportunity in the future. We sell direct in the United States, Canada, and certain parts of Europe. In international markets like Indonesia or India, or China or Chile, we sell through a network of local dealers that sell complementary products and services. So they're knocking on the same doors as we would be in those regions if we had a direct presence. And then we have a growth strategy for value-added partners where they add a little bit of vertical-specific software, add their branding, and then go deep in a very specific vertical like food and so on. Those are some real customers, but they're also emblematic of the types of customers we sell to. We've sold well over 1,200 of these instruments at roughly an average selling price of $100,000. And we feel like we're just at the sort of first or second inning of a 9-inning game in terms of the opportunity for, again, these portable MRI machines. Fully committed, senior, experienced management team. This is my third tech startup. By education, I have a master's degree in electrical engineering. Had some success with my first tech startup, which was internet software. My second one was high performance computing. Never had a real job in my life, raised 4 kids and stayed married, sort of a thing. So, I really have a passion for entrepreneurship, and I'm really excited about trying to scale this business, doing a few things differently this time around that I did in my first 2 businesses. Our CTO has a real unique vision for the future of magnetic resonance, which I'll sort of allude to in a slide that I call the appification of magnetic resonance. And then a recent addition to our executive management team, Mark Tomlinson, has taken over our services business, and we've had a really exciting contract win there that I'll highlight on a future slide. Our market cap is about 22 million, where our stock is trading today, and that corresponds to 114 million shares. And again, we demonstrated that we have been able to achieve positive EBITDA at a $45 million revenue run rate in 2024. We've had a couple tough quarters, and I'll have a slide on that as well. But we definitely have been able to show that we're not just a tech company burning cash, but we know how to run a business profitably. Senior independent board of directors. So this is the sciencey slide to sort of get why portable MRI is important. So on the top left, I've depicted what I think everybody here has probably seen, an MRI machine in a hospital. Human beings or part of a human being goes in those big magnets, and there's a scan and then an image created, and a radiologist looks at that image and so on. What most people don't know is that technology has also been used in industrial analysis for decades. And what the gentlemen are doing at the top of that scaffolding there is they have a glass testing tube like this, and there's either a new drug being developed or a lithium brine pool sample or a new polymer being developed, and they're putting it down in that MRI magnet. It's oriented a little bit differently than the one in the hospital, but it's the same superconducting magnet requiring the same liquid helium to keep the supercon magnet cool. Very complicated to use, very expensive, and it's not portable by anyone's definition of the word portable. So that type of testing, when you want to find out exactly what molecules are in your substance of interest, including all kinds of nuances like chirality, which is the handedness of molecules, that's the gold standard for testing. You would always want to test your sample on a magnetic resonance machine if you could. But what if you don't have enough money to afford large machines like that? Or what if they're too far away from you where you need to run the sample? So that's what our company has done successfully. We've miniaturized that technology first for industrial applications. You can see our beautiful little products to the right there, our flagship products. And then we have a vision to one day have a medical imaging oriented product with partners that we will launch. But the math and the physics of being able to generate the magnetic resonance phenomena is the same in the industrial analysis. Here's our full product portfolio. So when I say we've sold well over 1,200 of them, I'm referring to the ones on the top left, but we have a full complement of accessories and proprietary software. We also sell through partners, hardware partners. And at the very bottom, what I'm alluding to is our new services business that we've launched and that is growing. One of the things that I wanted to do differently this time as a third-time entrepreneur is I wanted to have proprietary manufacturing so we protect our intellectual property against reverse engineering in offshore situations. We've done that successfully. All of our manufacturing, it's not just a final assembly, it's full-blown proprietary manufacturing is done in Calgary, control quality and costs as well. The secret sauce associated with creating a miniaturized MRI machine is to have a magnetic field that is of a known strength, a known shape, and that's accurate to 9 decimal places in all 3 vectors. in light of tiny changes in temperature and so on, which makes the magnetic field go all out of whack. If you can do that, you can create the magnetic resonance phenomena and then either have an image or do what's called spectroscopy, which is determining what molecules are in that substance of interest. And that's where most of our patents have to do with, is creating that type of stable, accurate magnetic field. So most people think that MRI is an important technology because it can kind of create an image that, a quality image that a radiologist can look at, but that's sort of not really the case. The reason why MRI is important is because the fundamental math and physics of it allows you to analyze the cells, right? X-rays and ultrasounds can create quality images. They will never be able to analyze cells directly. And so that's the reason why magnetic resonance is such an important technology, and why in the future magnetic resonance machines will be able to analyze cells, determine the nature of abnormalities without invasive procedures like biopsies and so on. That type of molecular analysis is already being done on the industrial analysis side. The output of the raw data, like on the top left there, it looks a little bit different than what people are used to identifying with MRI, but the fundamental math and physics is the same, and the future of it is that the output of the machines looks like the data on the right. So we did everything from scratch in our company. We hired all the early scientists. I moved some really smart guys up from California that went to Caltech and MIT in the East Coast, and they're now Canadians. And we built a team that are all still with us. We built the tech platform, the manufacturing, the marketing, the direct sales. We raised a lot of money, most of it when the markets were hot, and really proud of our accomplishments. And we've got some really exciting catalysts coming down the pike as well. So we think our next 10 years are going to be better than our last 10 years. And again, to kind of come full circle on what kind of company we're building, not just our sexy technology and our products that have been successful, but our vision is to have products and services working together. So in some verticals, like security, we'll lead with our service capability and then bring our products into the mix. And then in other verticals, like pharma, we'll lead with our proprietary products and then bring our service capabilities into the mix as well. So that's the way to look at our company sort of in the future as opposed to the past. And one of the catalysts to creating a services organization, which at the time, a lot of people were saying to me, this is a little bit of the cart before the horse sort of thing, but I'm an entrepreneur, I embrace risk, I'm not afraid of risk. But we had an opportunity to work with the Government of Canada, who we were talking to about potentially using our portable MRI machines in airports and border crossings to analyze suspicious white powders and pills. Because we have law enforcement customers that do that. They have our machines in their mobile labs, they drive them around, they go to music festivals, and they protect kids from deadly synthetic opioids, which magnetic resonance is really good for seeing those kinds of things. Even if some clever chemist has tweaked the molecule and it's not on a forbidden list yet, you can't hide it from magnetic resonance, you can hide it from other techniques. So it was in that context that a particular part of the Government of Canada called CATSA, which is the Canadian version of the TSA, said to us, hey, we really like your company, we want to work with you, but we actually have a real difficult problem that we need you to help us with right now, and it's not what you expect. We need you to help us provide service and maintenance and installations and uninstallations of all the scientific equipment in Canadian airports. We need a technology advisor, not just sort of a low-tech service provider. And we thought they were sort of just trying to put pressure on the company they really wanted to give the business to, but lo and behold, we ended up winning a $480 million contract with the Government of Canada through CATSA to provide all the service of their scientific instrumentation in all 90 airports. So today, we are an essential service provider to the Government of Canada. You cannot operate an airport without our people fixing those scanners. They scan your luggage, when you go like this, that machine, we're responsible for 100% of that work in Canada. So that was sort of the catalyst to kind of really turbocharge our growing of our services organization that will work hand in hand with our proprietary products organization. And we're about 2 years into the first 5-year renewal term. So it is $480 million, but there's 3 5-year renewal terms associated with it. It's indexed to inflation. We recently got the project to profitability. For the first 18 months, we had to hire about 150 people. Our revenue was zero and our costs were massive. And during that time, we had to take out a $10 million term loan from our commercial bank. So that's probably one of the reasons why the stock price hasn't been doing so good, is even though we've made this project successful, We do have a little bit of debt that's hanging on our balance sheet a little bit that we're rectifying. We paid down the $10 million loan down to $6 million, and we continue to pay it down. So that's really sort of getting towards the end of the presentation, other than to emphasize, this chart of our EBITDA sort of is emblematic of how we've thought about our business. We were a typical tech company burning boatloads of cash every quarter, and then we got out of that. We posted a really solid quarter in fourth quarter of 2024, $12.3 million in revenue and really solid positive EBITDA and positive operating cash flow. And then we got hit with a little bit more adversity in the first quarter, and that's bled into the second quarter of 2025 with some of the uncertainties in the United States. Some of our customers were calling us and saying, we don't know if we have a budget. I don't know if I have a job, but we've started to see that come back. But yeah, we've been persevering through some adversity over the last couple of quarters, but we kind of feel like we're on the other side of that now and getting back towards what our objective really is, which is to generate positive free cash flow for shareholders and eventually have that translate into value for shareholders. We've got a couple of people following our company, great people at Ventum and Lead Financial, if you want to reach out to them for their rigorous reports. And that's the end of the presentation, and happy to answer any questions or engage in any kind of discussion.